Okay, hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. And my next guest is my most beautiful, amazing, one of my best friends is Mary Phillips, Dr. Mary. She is also a chiropractor, like I am, and we've known each other for at least 15 years, if not more. And as I said, she's really, really dear to me, and I wanted her to be on one of our interviews because over the years she's been getting more into meditation. And so that's why I wanted to bring her here and chat a little bit about meditation. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Rebecca. How you doing?
I'm good. A little bit hot. It's nice weather over here.
Yeah, it's quite nice over here. We're on the Isle of Man, and there is some blue sky here, so that's quite nice for us. So that's good.
So I've visited Mary quite a few times over in the Isle of Man. It is always colder than down south, just so you know. She would never agree, but anyway. So maybe give us a little bit about your journey into meditation.
It started a few years back. My husband got quite ill, and I got very caught up in thoughts, in negative thoughts, and someone suggested meditating, and so I started to meditate, and I got into a guy called Joe Dispenza. And his meditations are quite long, and I was doing that morning and evening every day. I did that for a whole year, and they take about between an hour and 3 hours each one. And so it got to the stage where I was meditating, spending a lot of time meditating, and my little girl said to me, "Mummy, you're never here. You're not you anymore." And so I kind of stepped back from the meditating, and then I missed it. And so I tried to find meditations which were smaller so that I could fit it into my busy life and still be a mummy and still not have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to sleep at 11 and exist on 6 hours sleep just so that I get all the meditations done. So that's really how Conscious Butterfly came about, my meditations. I searched around and couldn't find meditations that I particularly liked, and especially ones which weren't in a British voice. A lot of them were American and Canadian, and I wanted a bit of variety, and so I made my own meditations for myself and then started talking to clients about it, and then the clients liked them, and I recorded more, and before I knew it, I had a little bit of a business. So it kind of happened, it happened organically, but that's where we are now.
Brilliant. So just so you guys watching or listening, I've also done the Joe Dispenza courses and seminars, and I would highly recommend them, but they're long weekends or weeks. I know the advanced course is a week long, which I haven't done yet, and I also remember Mary and I chatting about us meditating, and that I remember her saying how long it was taking her to do all of them each time. So it's great to have shorter ones, and you're completely right, a lot of the meditation is not in an English voice, and especially a female voice as well. So I think it's a great thing, Mary. Just for our watchers and listeners, what would you say? Obviously you've already said a little bit about what you found personally beneficial doing it. What other benefits are there? What does the research say? Give us some stuff about that.
The research is brilliant for meditation. It reduces stress. It controls your anxiety. So if you're a little bit, if you're an overthinker, it'll help calm down your brain waves. It's good at just your emotional health, self-awareness. Regular meditators, their blood pressure comes down. So there's some really, really good evidence out there. I found that a lot of people got put off because they thought they had to be this Buddha omming in the garden, and that just really isn't the case. There's no meditation police out there. You can do it however you want to do it, whenever you want to do it. You can do it, and my meditation specifically, I've got some shorter ones which are only 6 minutes long, and up to like my walking meditations, which are like 25 minutes, but the majority of them are under 10 minutes. They're bite-sized, so you don't have to be some expert. You can just give it a go.
Yeah, completely. And when I chat to some of my patients, often they'll go, "Oh, I can't just sit there being quiet." I'm like, "Well, there's lots of guided meditations. You don't just have to sit there, like you were saying, in the lotus position, trying to, like, not have any thoughts whatsoever. I definitely find guided meditations are easier to work
Yeah,
with than not."
yeah,
Um,
they're a good beginner.
Yeah, exactly. How also I wanted just to say that I think from what I've read, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that it's actually also been shown to change the way your brain is structured and wired and how it works.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, and that's a very good point, because with our guided meditations, the music is actually embedded with theta waves, and waves aid that deep relaxation. So that the meditations that we do at Conscious Butterfly, they help bring you into that relaxation state faster, and it helps your brain organize your thought patterns. So it's more than superficial; it's on many different levels meditation.
Yeah, fab. Fab. Um I mean, if you had to say in one sentence, what is meditation? What would you say? What would your answer be?
Um, Meditation is clearing the conscious mind.
Nice. Love it. That's all's needed.
You
um,
know, we've got 1,000 thoughts going around our heads, and sometimes our brain isn't telling us the right messages, and meditation just helps you bring it down and actually focus. It allows me to focus on the stuff that's actually important in life, rather than being busy.
yeah, no, love it. Easy tips. So, for example, if we've got beginners,
Yeah.
what tips, what advice, I call them hacks as well, what easy little things would you suggest a beginner to look for or do within their meditation practice if they wanted to take it up?
um there are quite a few bits and pieces. We're taught to meditate sitting up, but actually, if you want to lie down, if you're in pain, or if you want to lie down, lie down. Like, it doesn't matter how you do it. Personally, that's how I feel. The fact that you're doing it is fantastic. Um, Make sure that you've got some headphones, so that you can plug yourself in. If you're living with other people, that will mean that you can listen more to whatever's being said on the guided meditation. And if you don't like one meditation, try another one. There are so many different people doing meditations out there, that if my voice particularly irritates you, or Joe Dispenza's irritates you, find someone else. You don't have to follow one particular person. There's lots and lots of options out there. And make sure that you're comfortable. So when you set yourself up to meditate, have a cushion, grab a blanket. If you're not comfortable, stop it, get comfortable, start again. As I said, there's no meditation police. There's no one watching over you, making sure you're doing it properly. Just give it a go.
Yeah, great. And for me, I also sometimes tell my household if I'm going to do it, because being distracted a little bit is hard work when you're also meditating. And I often do it lying down from time to time, especially if I'm doing a nighttime one. I might fall asleep whilst I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Gives me a really great night's sleep, actually. So, and actually, that's
Yeah.
another
I would
question. What time? A time of day? Is there a good time of day? Anything you would suggest?
Really, at first thing in the morning, last thing at night would be the most ideal times. But sometimes I don't make that time in my day, and sometimes I'll drive to pick my daughter up from school, and I'll be in the car and I'll do my 10-minute meditation while waiting for my daughter. It really is whenever you can fit it in. It's a little bit of me time. You can go and hide in the larder eating your Easter eggs, or whatever you do, and do your meditation.
Yeah, great. Resources. What resources would you would you advise people to do, to look for, etc., etc., before we obviously tell them where they can find your meditations?
Oh, there's Insight Timer. There's ones on YouTube. What I would say, that if you're going to do it on your phone, I would download it and turn the Wi-Fi off, so you're running the internet off your phone. So your phone's like airplane.
Yeah.
Cool. listening to it with nothing else coming into your brainwave, basically, to say. So go to somewhere like Insight Timer or YouTube, somewhere you can download it. There's lots of options out there.
Yeah. And just for those people who didn't catch what Mary said, she said to flick up and do the airplane mode, which is what I often do, so that you don't get calls or, you know, or anything else that might distract you from your meditation, and have it downloaded so that it's on your device or your phone. Great. And then how do people find more about you and your guided meditations? Tell us all, Mary.
I have a Facebook page, Conscious Butterfly, and I have a website, consciousbutterfly.co.uk, and there's if you sign up for the newsletter, you can have a complimentary meditation, and there's a series of there's individual ones, and there's also adult ones. If you like meditation, you've got children and you'd like your children to start to learn to meditate, I find the best way for them to do it is by doing it with them. You know, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. And there's a really lovely set of meditations there for children to encourage gratefulness, kindness, sleep, lots of different things. So there's a good variety of meditations down on the website.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for doing all of that, Mary, because I think especially now, for families who are not in their routines, they're having to all be together, homeschooling and, you know, exercising, everything literally on top of each other. I think even more now, for kids especially, to, you know, start to learn to meditate. I think it's a great habit. It's a great tool to have families and kids do. So thank you so much for doing that for families.
You're really welcome.
And yeah, so I will put any links. Let me know, let Mary know if you want any more information, if you'd like us to do any more of these interviews, if you've got any burning questions, just let us know, and I'm sure me and my bestie will jump on and do another video. So thank you very much for listening. Bye.